Edward Oldfield, and I'm here to tell you how you can save money on Great British Rail travel. I've found the new split ticketing system. We'll talk about split ticketing later, but I also want to talk about how we're being ripped off by a nationalised rail company. Nationalised rail is meant to be the utopia. That's what we want. We've left the EU now. We can all nationalise our railways in the UK, but I'm getting ripped off by them. Let's start off with my example. So, for example, we will travel from Blackpool North to Chester on the 31st of July, and an off-peak return ticket will set you back £52. Whereas if you buy an off-peak return from Blackpool North to Delamere, I'll show you the route to Delamere. It goes via Chester, and that off-peak ticket will cost you £27.60. That is a saving of over £24. So that means if you get a ticket to a destination further than where you want to go, it will cost you less than if you buy a ticket direct to the destination. This is ridiculous. And I've given another examples as well. You can go from Blackpool North, Blackpool South, Preston or Kirk and Westham to Warrington Banky. It is cheaper if you buy a ticket to St Helens Junction. And you have to change at Warrington Banky to get to St Helens Junction. It also works if you're going to Southport from Kirk and Preston, from Blackpool South, Blackpool North. If you want to go to Southport for the day, get a ticket to Hightown, which is beyond Southport. It will save you money. I've got the examples all here. I shall put these in the comments. Please also, in the comments, put down other hacks that you've identified where you can get a train ticket to a destination further than where you want to go, and you will save money. This is absolutely ridiculous. It's all legal because in the National Rail conditions of travel, we'll come back to this later, you can break your journey on either the outward bound journey or the inward bound one. Now, the other thing I want to look at is on the train line, I'm going from Blackpool North to Chester. You can see if I want to do these advanced fares and all the rest of it split save, the 11:24 train will cost me £26.20. I'll go on the Trainline app for exactly the same journey, 31st of July, one passenger. At 11:24, it's badgering me there are limited tickets available at £28.70. So that is actually £2.50 odd dearer on the app. This is on the website. The website's not badgering me to say there's limited tickets, but the app is. They're badgering me to buy a ticket that's dearer. How is that so? That isn't going into a shop where they pay business rates and you've got a person's wages to pay. That is online or on the app. Both are electronic, and I'm being ripped off. Now, here's the interesting thing as well. I want to talk about split ticketing now because I think I found the new split ticketing. So split ticketing, for example, is a case of I want to go from Kirk and Westham to Gretna Green. If I want to go to Kirk and Westham to Gretna Green, an off-peak day return on the Avanti website or the Trainline website is £77.20. But if I buy two tickets, one from Kirk and Westham to Carlisle return, and then another one from Carlisle to Gretna Green, which is the same route that I would take to go from Kirkham to Gretna Green, the total cost of that ticket will be £37.10. Because return to Carlisle is £30.40 and then return from Carlisle to Gretna Green is £6.70. So I will save £30 by buying two separate return journey tickets. So I'm, using more paper. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. But here's the interesting thing. That's how split ticketing works. Everybody knows about split ticketing. If you don't do, please look into it. There's plenty of websites out there you can do split ticketing. But here's the interesting thing. If I go on to Northern Railways website and search for Kirk and Westham to Gretna Green on the 31st of July for an off-peak return, the cheapest I can get without any of this business where we're doing a specified train, the cheapest ticket I can buy is an anytime day return, £112. Now let's just remind ourselves, Northern Rail has been privatised since 2020. It is now a government-owned company. It is nationalised. Everybody says nationalising the railways is the way forward. I'm not disagreeing with that, but let's remember, when you nationalise a railway, it is the same tracks, the same trains, the same stations, the same staff, the same seat. Everything is all the same, but we expect it to be a lot better. But actually, it's got worse because Northern Railway wants to sell me a ticket to Carlisle return at £112. That's the cheapest I can buy off their website for an open return. If I go on the Avanti West Coast website, now bearing in mind, Avanti West Coast is a privately operated company. It's owned by First Trenitalia, the Italian operator, and they're offering tickets from £77.20 for a return, an off-peak return, £77.20. There you are, off-peak return standard. But if I go on the Northern Rail website, which is nationalised, they don't offer me that. They want to charge me something like 50 quid more on a national. Why is a nationalised railway company charging me more than a privatised one? Ask yourself that. Right, anyway, the next thing I want to talk about is an also very interesting one. Because if we look at the National Rail conditions of travel, because we want to talk about the legalities of doing all what we're doing. In the National Rail Conditions of Travel, updated the 2nd of April 2024, it says very clearly that what they want to do is, oh, by the way, this is for England and Wales and trains that are not solely operating within Scotland. But it says here, we will make clear information about the range of tickets to help you make the most appropriate decision and best value ticket for your journey. Well, no, you're not. No, you're not, because Northern is obviously a member of this documentation. They are not offering the best value for tickets, because we've just seen that. Avantiar, a privately operated company, is offering cheaper tickets than the nationalised railway. How can that be? Anyway, so I also want to look into this document, and it tells us that on page 5, we're looking at section 2.2, the National Rail Guide to Tickets leaflet available at nationalrail.co.uk, Guide to Tickets, provides information on the range of tickets. So let's have a look at that now. If we go onto the tab here, nationalrail.co.uk, Guide to Tickets, and we run that search. Oh dear. Oh dear. Sorry, if you want to find out more about the range of tickets available, please do not follow the National Rail Conditions of Travel, because the website doesn't work. So what we will do is we'll also look at the nationalrail.co.uk / tickets, and we'll look at tickets available. So I've brought this up here. This is interesting. So if you're a bit nervous about doing this split ticketing or getting a ticket to a destination beyond where you want to go, then have a look at the website. And here we go. If we look at this here, we can look at breaking your journey. Is what should we doing? Because we're getting a ticket to Delamere, for example, but we're going to get off at Chester. We'll scroll down here and we'll have a look at the information available under breaking your journey, and it says, for instance, if you're putting through to station A to station B to station C, you can break your return journey. This is explained in section 16 of the National Rail Conditions of Travel. Let's click on that. Oh dear. So it's sending me to a document that's dated 6th of February 2022, when actually the document says 2024. But it does say in the most updated document here, you can see it very clearly, you may also end your journey in either direction in the case of return ticket before the destination shown on the ticket. So you can get a ticket to Delamere via Chester from Blackpool North or those other stations I mentioned. You can end your journey at Chester. It's completely legal unless the train service makes a circular journey, such as the Festiniog Circular. This is not a circular train journey. I think we are being ripped off by national companies. We are seeing examples of where you can save a lot of money on the summer holidays. If anybody wants to add comments in the comments below to give us more hacks on how you can save money, please do it. And the final thing I want to say is I'm going to send a letter to Northern asking why they're ripping us off. I'm going to send a letter to the trail line to find out why we have different prices on the app and prices on the website. I'm also going to send a letter to the National Rail Organisation to say, why is your internet sites out of date? You could say to me I should give them a right to reply before I'm uploading this video, but the fact of the matter is I'm not making accusations, I am stating facts. Now, I'm going to go and get a train ticket to Delamere via Chester. Have a lovely day, and I'll update you when I've got another video.